there's a time and place right now where, and I'm only speaking for black people. I'm not speaking as a whole. I'm not speaking from a kumbaya moment. As far as black people, a lot of us can't even choose to live in a certain neighborhood. We have to live in neighborhoods where our job affords for us to live, and the job is selected for us, and these are the only people that are hiring. I'm not saying we're not applying for certain jobs we can't, but we're just not in control of our destiny at this point because of the powers that be. There's zones that you can think out of that. I'll give you a very good example. So
we live in an area right here where
the Virgin Islands,
judges are black, your governor's black,
so I'm speaking from a black American experience. I think there's a world and then there's the Virgin Islands.
Right. But there are black cities where, again, your judges are black, your mayor is black, your city council is black.
Yeah, but their bosses look like Charlie Kirk. Their bosses.
But is that a
black
little conspiracy theory?
Well, it can be, but if you look at the numbers, I don't think black people are in control of anything, to be quite honest. That if you want to be honest about it, we can own, as an individual, we can be successful, we can move into a white neighborhood, we can have white neighbors, we can have friends over and all that, but as a community, get the fuck out of here. It's not, meaning there's no us, they, we. There can be I, and America's set up for I to be successful.
Of course.
And I will stand by that to the death. As far as us, they, we.
Do you think there's like a white community?
What do you mean?
Like,
I mean, yes.
You think like white people stick together, like there's a white, like,
well,
I've never seen it.
Understood. So to answer your question,
I mean, like I'm Italian, like I got the Sons of Italy, which is like an Italian.
First of all, racism has a diversity program. Let's be clear about that. Like, you asked me earlier about, Kanye West, Candace Owens, conservative blacks. Like, we gotta stop looking at people by what race they are and the actions they choose to be and the people they want to be deemed as. Mm-hmm. Because race can throw you off. Mm-hmm. These are like when you say things like, oh my, not you, but when people say things like, oh my God, you speak so well. Oh my God, I didn't think you could do like things like that. Let people be who they are first, right? But not everyone sees that or thinks like that. We live in the Virgin Islands, so we're kind of spoiled when it comes to, for example,
well, there is a reverse form of racism out here.
Absolutely.
Right.
And when I found out about it, I thought for the longest, Mac, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought that would bring me so much joy, but it didn't. It didn't feel good. No. It just sucks because I know a lot about it.
There is also a strong belief that Caribbean folks don't look at themselves as African.
There's a huge disconnect. There's a huge disconnect.
It's not.
I know all about it.
They're not giving you. You're not exactly.
I'm white to a lot of them. I'm Yankee white to a lot of them.
But being white, I mean, there is, and I see it every day, right?
Yeah.
Forms of. So I get that feeling, right? But I understand the history.
The Virgin Islands taught me a lot about race and relations and how things fit. Like, it's interesting to say, that's another conversation we should have too. I think it'll be interesting to hear it from our perspective.
Right.
But what I want to share with you, Mac, is that a lot of black people feel like they just need to be left alone. And a lot of white people feel that black people need to integrate and be a part of this society together.
What does that mean?
It means that...
I don't think white people give a shit what you do.
Okay.
Just so long as it's not, adversely impacting society. Right? So my point is this. Mm-hmm. You accept that there's a problem with crime in the black neighborhoods. That's outweighed, right?
That's one way to put it. Absolutely.
On a pro-rata basis, right? So, blacks make up 13% of the country, right? But if you look at homicides committed by Americans, 42% were committed by African Americans. So it's like you only make up 13% of the country, but are committed 42%. Still, majority are committed by whites. That's fair, you know. But percentage-wise, more murders being committed in the black community than it is in the white community on a pro rata basis, right? So listen, so here's my point. My point is, naturally, I don't feel fear around black people, but there are going to be white people that when they know these statistics and they perceive this as dangerous, right, that they're going to be more nervous, right, when, you know, if a white kid in a collared shirt comes knocking on the door versus a black kid in a hoodie, right? They're going to be more nervous because they're aware of the statistics, right? And I'm not saying that's right? But I'm saying that sometimes you have to also accept realities, right? And then we can change those. That's how we better, as a society, whether you're white or black or whatever, if you accept these truths and say, okay, so this is a problem, and we need to fix this. If we can fix this about ourselves, then it will help fix the problem in general. Now, I also get the larger point, right? Is that there has been a socioeconomic attack on blacks for so long that it relegated them, you know, into impoverished situations where crime is going to be more prevalent, because if you have to put food on the table, your only option is selling crack, right? Because everything else you've been blocked off from everything else. I get that, right? So I am not naive to the social conditions that America has historically placed on the black community, which has limited their ability, right, to you know, upwardly be mobile, right? And then so we have to take blame for why some of the conditions exist in the black community, right? Like down here in the Virgin Islands, you rarely ever see black on white crime. You never see hardly any white on black crime. It's usually black on black crime. Now it's a black area, it's a black set of islands, right? But when you see, we have a homicide problem in the Virgin Islands per capita. We have more homicides in the Virgin Islands than Chicago, right? So my point is that, like, we also, I think, have to take a look at our communities. Can't just always say, oh, that's racist or this, because listen, and I have a real problem with law enforcement and the way law enforcement's done. And I don't even know if it's so much racist as it is just like that thin blue line, like us versus you. They think they're on the law enforcement thinks they're on one side and the citizens are on the other side. And then, you know, I have an issue with that. However, when you talk about like police, and it's a chicken and the egg, right? So it's like police are more fearful when they approach a black male, right? Because statistically they know the statistics, they've had worse experiences dealing with black men, right, than they have dealing with white men, right? But the problem with that is, now because the black male driver, who a perfectly good person, knows that the police think that, now they're more nervous because you see what I'm saying? It's a chicken or the egg, right? So how do you stop that cycle is my point.
So my thing is, everything you just described is a creative, controlled environment.
How do you get out of that? That's when I say, my point is, when I say
leave us the fuck alone.
Like, what does that mean?
This is what it means. It all boils down to a word,
okay,
and it's called separation.